Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to another episode of Way of the Underhive. This series is dedicated to helping brand new players to Necromunda build their starting rosters and learn more about the game mechanics of their favorite gangs. And on today's episode, we'll discuss playing a brand new narrative campaign called Necromunda Game of Spires. Join us as we discuss a campaign where the 6 noble houses of Necromunda battle for control of the fate of their world. And on today's episode, we'll discuss the narrative starting roster for a House Ulanti Gang. So for those of you guys who are brand new to this series, Game of Spires is a homemade campaign rule set that I created, and I actually have the link to the rules in my description box. And in that campaign setting, you can actually play one of the 6 noble houses as they fight for control over the fate of Necromunda. Now once again, these rules are of course totally unofficial, they're only homegrown, and so because of that, if you want to use this on like a campaign, or if you want to use this in a tournament or anything like that, I would not recommend doing that because these rules are unofficial. This is a totally narrative build, basically means I'm kind of bending some rules and changing some things in order to do that. For example, I've actually made a new class of fighters for noble houses called the Noble Liveried Footmen, for example, using Venator rules from Necromunda. Like I said before, if you want to learn a bit more about that campaign rule set, I do have the description in the link in the description box down below as well. And of course, if you end up decide using this, please let me know, because I'd love to see if any of you guys are actually using any of these narrative rules I've created, because it'd be kind of neat to see exactly what you guys are doing that. So that being said, let's get this video on a roll. So let's go ahead and talk about the playstyle of a House Ulanti narrative starting roster. It's got a pretty good balance of shooting as well as close combat, and it's very lucrative in making money with excessive wealth special rule because we're still using that alliance mechanic for this gang as well. And also the main focus about playing this gang is to be aggressive, play to your strengths. You have really good close combat, you have really powerful shooting attacks, so never play defensively, always take the offense and take the fight to your enemies so that way you can destroy them and defeat them and actually win yourself in your campaigns as well. Alright, so let's go on and talk about the narrative starting roster. It's going to be rated at 2,400 credits as well. Your gang is going to be a House Ulanti Court Advisors gang. Your primary skills for this gang will be both combat as well as ferocity. I decided to pick these two because they kind of play to the strengths of the courtier characters that you can get from the Alliance as well. And it kind of matches the overall narrative background of this noble house. They're known for being very ferocious and also being very ruthless. They're also really known for dueling and close combat as well. So I decided to use those two kind of primary skills to create this gang. Your secondary skills, of course, will be agility as well as cunning, because you also want to be fast and quick, and at the same time you want to use your mind and a lot of stealth in order to get your attack on your enemies. And when we actually go through this list, if you want to know what miniatures I use to actually base this gang, as you saw at the beginning of this video, is basically using the Lucidian Star Striders kill team from Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. So if you do have that box set of miniatures, this would be a perfect gang to actually model a House Ulanti gang off of it. A lot of the fighters do resemble the members of the courtier, the court advisors anyways, and so I thought that'd be a good miniatures to use in order to create this gang. So if you guys go through this video, I'm going to show you examples of how you could use that box set to create this gang. So first up is going to be your leader, which is going to be the Ulanti Courtiers, which cost you 285 credits. This is also modeled after the same miniature, the same rule stat from the alliance that you get from the House of Blades. This will be your noble leader, who will also be the leader of your gang. She automatically comes with mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a needle pistol, as well as a power sword for close combat, as well as shooting. She also displays her field for that 5 armor save, as well as photo goggles, so that way she can see in all visibility condition. She does have the duelist special rule, which means that any single time she gets charged in close combat, she gets to fight first, and she automatically comes with the counterattack as well as the step aside skills as well. And we'll be using, of course, the Rogue Trader from the Lucidian Star Striders box set in order to represent the Ulanti Courtier, just because this miniature actually kind of resembles what I imagine what these courtiers would look like. Your first champion for your gang, of course, will be your Mirror Mask, which is going to cost you 275 credits. This is also going to be a champion in your gang, and also another directly from the rule set from the House of Blades. This character's also got mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a needle pistol and power sword for close combat, as well as short range shooting. They also displace their field for 5 armor save. You're equipping this fighter with photo goggles so they can see in all visibility conditions, as well as the mini faces special rule, which means they can swap places with the Ulanti Courtier at any time, which is a great game mechanic in order to save your leader, and also to put your champion in close combat as well. She also comes with Nerves of Steel, so that way she does get hit, she can escape pinning by passing a cool test. And the miniature that I would use from the Lucidian Star Strider Kill Team box set to represent this fighter is actually the Death Cultist fighter, just because it kind of resembles what I imagine what a Mirror Mask would look like, and then of course, you know, changing their appearance to match up with the courtier that they're responsible for protecting. And since we're using Ranthi's Succession rules to create this list, we're going to have multiple champions in this gang. So your second champion is going to be Noble Vassal number 1. The Noble Vassal, of course, is the champion level fighter for this gang, using a champion stats from the Venator stat line. This character is going to cost 315 credits. They have a 5-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 4+ ballistic skill, 3 strength and 3 toughness, 2 wounds, 4+ for initiative, 2 attacks, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. Now this character will be equipped with mesh armor for giving a 5 up armor save. They also have an auto cannon as their heavy weapon as well, with auto pistol man stopper rounds for a backup weapon. They also have photo goggles seeing all visibility conditions, and they also have the Nerves of Steel skill, so that way if they do get hit, they can escape pinning by rolling a 6+ with their cool statistics as well. And we're going to use the rotary cannon fighter from the Eliciting Star Strider box set to represent this champion. That rotary cannon looks like an auto cannon, and make a really powerful addition to your gang. Auto cannons are also extremely high toughness, high strength, high damaging weapons with a decent ammo roll, so you'll be able to lay down a lot of suppressive fire using this weapon. Your third and final champion will be Noble Vassal number 2. It's going to cost you 235 credits. Once again, this character's got a 5-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, 3 strength and 3 toughness, 2 wounds, 4 initiative, 2 attacks, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. Now this character is going to be a champion. He's going to have mesh armor for a 5 up armor save, as well as twin plasma pistols, so that way they can actually use these for close range shooting attacks as well as close combat. Plasma pistols, of course, are extremely powerful. We're giving this guy photo goggles so we can see all visibility conditions, and for his skill, we're giving the parry skill, so that way if he does get counterattacked, he can actually make your opponents re-roll their successful hit rolls. And we're going to use the Electro Maester from the Eliciting Star Striders box set in order to represent this character in your gang. So now that we're done talking about your leaders as well as your champions, let's talk about your fighters. First of all, we're going to have the Liveried Footman number 1. He's going to cost you 200 credits. It's going to be one of your gangers. He's got 5-inch wound allowance, as well as 4+ weapon skill and ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. This character will also have mesh armor for a 5 up armor save, as well as packing a combat shotgun with salvo and shredder rounds. Combat shotguns with salvo rounds are a very high powered, high strength, high damaging auto attack. Same thing with shredder rounds, is a great template weapon as well. We're giving this character a hot shot last pistol with a hot shot last pack for a good 4-up strength on the shooting attack, as well as for close combat as well as photo goggles that you can see in all visibility conditions as well. And we're also going to use one of your guys' fighters, the guy with a shotgun. I believe he's like a captain or something like that within the box set. You'll be using that miniature to represent this fighter in your gang. After that, we have Liveried Footman number 2, 3, and 4, and all 3 fighters will be cooked exactly the same. All 3 will cost 145 credits. All 3 will have the same characteristics of 5-inch movements, 4+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. All 3 of these fighters will, of course, have mesh armor for that 5-up armor save, as well as last guns with hot shot last packs, that way they get that strength 4 shooting attack with that -1 armor penetration. Now it does take away the plentiful trait from your last gun, and it also gives you a 4+ ammo save, but that 4+ ammo roll isn't that bad, especially when you have a strength 4 shooting attack, which is great. We also got last pistols for backup for these fighters as well, so they can use those in close combat, and we're also giving them photo goggles, that way they can see in all visibility conditions. These guys will be mainly your medium to long range shooters with that strength 4 shooting attack with the last gun. The photo goggles will really help them out, especially if you run into environmental rules as well, and they're actually quite versatile. Not only can they shoot, but if you give them like upgrades to their last pistols, they'll also have a strength for a close combat attack as well. So that might be something you want to keep in mind with these guys. And of course, we're using the 3 Star Strider crewman miniatures from that Kill Team box set to represent these fighters in your gang. We're also going to give a Cyber Mastiff for your gang, as well as 100 credits. This character's got Canine Jaws as well as Tenacious Special Rule, and we're also using the Canid miniature from the Eliciting Star Striders to represent this. I recommend using this the Cyber Mastiff as a bodyguard type character to hang around with your Ulanti Courtier, so that way you have an additional support in close combat. They could also get some additional support in taking some hits away from your Ulanti Courtier onto your Canid, and that's one of the things I like about this miniature. And of course, because we are playing with Lord Anthony's session rules and we all have enough credits to do so, we're going to take a Rogue Dog for your gang, as well as it costs 50 credits. They'll be equipped with the last pistol, as well as a Medicaid kit, as well as a Medicaid skill, just because, you know, Rogue Dogs are worth their weight in gold for hanger-ons. Now, the nice thing about this, of course, is that hanger-ons don't necessarily need to have miniatures in your gangs. You can actually just not ever field them, so you don't necessarily need to have a miniature for these guys. However, if you do want to have a Rogue Dog miniature, you could use the Surgeon character in order to represent that fighter on your gang. However, though, I'd actually recommend using that Rogue Dog as another miniature for your gang instead, making you have 4 champions using the House Ulanti session rules. You could replace that little medical kit thing that she has on her wrist with like Venom Claws or something like that, or like Toxin Attack Claws, or some kind of like needle pistol maybe, because it could easily fit that character. And that'd be one of the recommendations I'd use for this miniature. And like I said before, because we are playing with the Ulanti Succession, you do have vehicle crew access, and this is going to be your Noble Coachman. This is going to cost 505 credits. This character's got photo goggles so that they can see all visibility conditions, and they're using the brand new custom vehicle that came out with the Underhive campaign as well. You're going to equip your vehicle with a transport cage so that way you can transport your fighters, as well as escape hatches, as well as a crash cage in order to protect your vehicle crew, as well as your passengers. A ram, because you're going to get in close combat as quickly as possible, so a ram would be perfect for your vehicle to do that. A redundant drive system to protect your drive as well, so that way if you take anything but a non-glancing hit, you could actually save on that as well. We're giving you a tire claw so we get +1 to your handling, an engine shell to protect your engine compartment, as well as a mining laser. Mining laser is a good high strength, high armor penetrating attack that'd be perfect to use against enemy vehicles or against enemy high value targets. And because you are a House Ulanti Gang, you do get the Excessive Wealth special rule, which means that you add 2d6 times 10 credits to your stash during the collect income step of the post-battle sequence. And that's to represent the fact that you're a House Ulanti Gang and you get the perks of being a noble house. Alright, so let's talk about your tabletop tactics. You're going to divide your gang into 2 fire teams. Your support fire team will consist of Noble Vassal number 1, that's the champion armed with the autocannon, as well as Livery Footman number 2, 3, and 4. Those are the fighters armed with hotshot lasguns, as well as your Noble Coachman, who's driving the custom rig with a mining laser on it. These guys will be doing the medium to long range shooting in your gang. They got some really high strength, high damaging shooting attacks, so these are the guys who'll be doing a lot of the suppressing in your gang. Your assault fire team will consist of your Ulanti Courtier, your Mirror Mask, as well as Noble Vassal number 2, that's the fighters armed with the twin plasma pistols, as well as your Livery Footman number 1, who's also the guy carrying the combat shotgun, and then finally your hacked Cyber Mastiff. Now these guys of course are designed for close combat. They're meant to flank your enemy on one of their exposed flanks, engage people in close combat or into short range shooting, and cause all kinds of problems for your enemy. Now obviously if you have vehicle rules going on, the entire gang will be mounted upon your custom rig, and your custom rig of course will head straight towards your enemy as quickly as possible. Once it gets within range, your support fire team will dismount and engage the enemy head on using their shooting in order to suppress your enemy. Meanwhile, with all that high strength shooting attacks, it should Swiss cheese your enemies to pieces, because that strength 4 is kind of like the base line for all of your shooting attacks, with rapid fire for your autocannon, as well as that high armor penetration from your mining laser. While that is occurring, your assault fire team also dismounts and engages the enemy from an exposed flank, and they charge the enemy engagement in close quarters battle, either with short range shooting or with close combat. You also have a lot of silent trait weapons in this gang as well, so I recommend using that in case you gotta do something for stealth missions, that kind of thing. The idea is supposed to be that your fire teams might actually surround your enemy and destroy your target by getting them caught in a crossfire, and you can assault through and finish off anybody who survives. Now let's talk about how you can develop this gang over the course of a campaign. My opinion is, of course, recruit more Livery Footmen in order to get 10 fighters. Either do that or get another champion for your gang as well. You also want to make sure you upgrade that fighter with mesh armor as well as photo goggles, so they have a good armor save as well as can see in all visibility conditions. You can equip one of your fighters, of course, a long-range shooting attack, which would be kind of nice, with a special weapon, whichever you prefer. Plasma gun would actually be really good for your champion, that would be kind of nice as well. Or you could equip one with close-range attacks, maybe a power weapon and a hand flamer, or whatever you manage to prefer as well. Also, my idea too is that you should also upgrade your guys with better armor with like armored undersuits, so that way they get a +1 addition to their armor of their attack, or ablative harnesses that you can put on top of your armor to increase your armor save by 2. Also get things like grenades, for example. Frag grenades would be really good for this gang, as well as get some more upgrades for your vehicle as well. So once again, in conclusion, this is a fun narrative list to use in your games of Necromunda if you decide to use your game of Spires campaign rules that I created as well. And like I said before, all the rules for this campaign are totally unofficial, but it could be a fun way to actually make your games more interesting, or to give you a new campaign to use in case you're feeling like you're not having enough variety in your games as well. And like I said before, if you end up using anything that I create, please let me know, because I would love to hear about your guys' experiences and what you guys thought, whether some things that you liked, or ways that could be balanced more, or things that could be changed to make things more interesting. I'm always open to your guys' input. So that's good for you guys. As always, please like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this week, guys. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.